Brother called off his wedding after entitled SIL invited our narcissistic mother. Now she's claiming to be pregnant with my brother's child, but refusing to take the paternity test. I have 2 older brothers. This is about the middle one. Our parents divorced when I was very young due to our mother's insane jealousy. At first, my dad was able to handle it, but when she started making comments about me wanting to be like his wife, he had enough. She quickly rebounded with a guy with 2 kids and shared custody for a while. But when my dad got remarried, she went crazy, calling his new wife every horrible name and claiming he was cheating on her while they were married. I was always closer to my brothers and dad than my mom because she was always very mean to me. Long story short, my stepmom died in a bad car accident, and my dad called her in the middle of the night, letting her know he would pick us up earlier so we could attend the funeral, and she decided to take us on a fun trip to celebrate something. It was the happiest we've ever seen her, and when we realized what happened and started crying, she told us only worthless people cry for WHS. Needless to say, things went nuclear, and my dad asked for full custody with visitation for her. He always left the line of communication open and paid for us to visit her when she moved away. But it was still very bad, and as soon as we turned 18, we started to lose contact with her. The last time we saw her was at my high school graduation, where she made a point of letting everyone who would hear we were ungrateful kids, and her HB would call us bad names too. She has been NC since then. My brother Sam started dating his ex 3 years ago. She has heard all the stories and the reasons we are NC, but she believes we are just dramatic. They had many issues due to her opinions, but she eventually seemed to drop the "you need to reconcile with your mother" crusade. During the wedding planning, there was no indication of things going wrong or being fishy. Then we got to the church, and lo and behold, Mom, HB, and 2 kids were sitting at the front. I immediately panicked and called my brothers. Sam thought maybe somehow she found out and wanted to crash, so he called his ex to let her know of the potential drama. But she told him it was fine since she invited them. Sam hung up and asked me to go get him, while his oldest brother dealt with things at the church. We went home and barricaded ourselves there even when his ex, her family, friends, etc. came to try and make sense with him. Mom's HB even called and said he always knew we were worthless. Now that the dust has settled, most of Sam's friends are on his side, as is most of our family dads. Ex's parents have already threatened to sue for the money they paid if he doesn't marry her. But Sam says he would rather pay them back for their contribution than marry someone who betrayed him. My nuclear family 100% supports Sam, but the backlash has been huge. Edit. You guys just reassured us all. Thank you. Some have commented about it, but no, she has not apologized. She even went so far as to text my oldest brother, Joe, that she thought it would be a good wedding present for my brother to her since she values family. My dad bought them a house as a wedding present, but only Sam is on the deed. She did have keys for when they moved there, but they just had the locks changed today, and Joe and some cousins are taking everything Sam owns from her flat during this week. We aren't worried about being sued, but we will consult a lawyer just in case. We also heard Mom and her family are still in town, but since we are all staying at our childhood home for a few days, we don't care. My dad is sad that Sam is heartbroken, but he is trying to cheer him up along with my boyfriend and my sister. I had to delete or deactivate my SM because I kept getting nasty comments and messages. But the more people learn the reason Sam ran away, the less it gets. I am still sorry she felt humiliated, but my brother comes first. Edit 2. We are 34, 32, and 28. Excel is 30. Not in the US. I asked Joe about the church aftermath, and it was just as I expected. He says he stood up in front of everybody and told them Sam was not coming and to please go home, and all their gifts delivered to our side of the family will be given back ASAP. The ex was still outside the church when someone in her family informed her, and she started screaming and crying and calling Sam nonstop. Mom tried to talk to Joe, who didn't even look at her, and when she couldn't get a reaction out of him, she started crying loudly and lamenting how horrible we are to her, and some people started consoling her. This is her MO, but Joe and his wife didn't care. When they went out of the church, the ex was expecting them and demanding to see Sam, but Joe said no. She then demanded to know what to do with the party, and he said if she didn't want the venue, he would arrange for the food to be donated to the staff there so it wouldn't go to waste. Everybody was screaming except Joe because he didn't want to give Mom satisfaction. Joe and SIL came home after stopping at the supermarket and some fast food joints, and we have been inside like we are kids again, plus 2 more members. We asked Sam if he wanted them to go, but he said he wanted them there. We had all taken time off to spend family time after the wedding anyway, so it's not a problem at the moment. When the ex came to the gate, we knew she was not going to use the venue, so my sister called them with Sam's information, told them to take the food, and also sent them some tips for their trouble. It seems we will get back all the alcohol that my dad paid for, so we will have a very drunk end of the year. A couple of people messaged me, asking why our dad ever married our mom, and the answer is that he really loved her and believed she was the nicest person ever. It turns out she wasn't, but she knew nobody, except, I guess, her nasty husband, would marry her unless she pretended to be nice. He considered staying with her until we were adults, but she kept getting worse. She used to be very nice, and he thought she was changing, and then she would change again. As per my ex-SIL, we have no doubt that she believes mom is a nice person who has ungrateful children because she is extremely charming. And for some people, it's funny to make fun of others as long as it's not directed at them. But it still doesn't excuse X. The only person Sam gave an explanation to was his boss, who was at the church, but he was very understanding and was pretty shocked by what mom put us through since we are fairly happy people. Our dad said that it was a shock for all of us, and we can stay home as long as we need. Sam is moving home for the time being. I showed my family the post, and they were moved by your niceness. But Sam wants you all to know that X wasn't showing any concerning behaviors, and he truly believed she understood his upbringing. He agreed to talk to her and her parents today, but only if it's at our home, and we are there to support him. So it's going to be an interesting visit. Update 1. First, some extra info. Sam lost some money, but it's not going to hurt him. Her parents paid for her dress, a very fancy cake, and part of the honeymoon. X wasn't the most beloved-in-law, but we truly believed she loved Sam. We have no contact with mom's side. Joe used to have some with grandma, but after his wedding another SHT show avoided, he cut her off too. Mom's comments about me wanting to be the wife came from her belief that it was not right for us to have daddy-daughter days or outings. The thing is, there were also Daddy Joe days and Daddy Sam days. He always tried to spend time with us alone and as a group. She is just sick. We don't advertise our childhood, so when people ask us about our parents, the standard answer is, just my dad, or it's just my siblings and my dad. Most people assume mom is dead, and it helps avoid the whole inquiry about not talking to her. Mom's stepkids are both male and in their early 30s. Dad has a long-term girlfriend, and we like her a lot. She has been doing her own stuff these past few days, but she says we have her full support. Now the update. I was wondering why Sam accepted the meeting after not even talking to her. But it turns out she sent videos and photos of all his things on the floor to his best friend Tom, and told him that Sam either talked to her, or she would burn or destroy it all. Tom came to visit Sam, told him what happened, and they informed her they needed access to the flat before anything happened. Tom, Joe, a couple of cousins, and my BF went and took his clothes, electronics, and important paperwork. Sam said he didn't care about the rest, and even made a little joke about them being the fastest moving crew he knew. The meeting was, for lack of a better word, a ridiculous event. She came with her parents and sisters and tried to talk to Sam alone. But when he didn't allow it, she just started talking. Not once did she apologize. She said it's not her fault, we don't understand the value of a real family, and we were raised to hate mothers. Her only intention was for Sam to learn to value mothers, because she was scared he would take her children away from her, because that is what he was taught to do. Sam didn't say anything until she said, "This family is like a cult. And you are a terrible father," looking at my dad. As you may imagine, this is a sore spot for all of us, and we don't allow insults towards our dad under any circumstances. Sam just unloaded about how she was a hateful liar. He was disgusted he ever touched even her hand. He was grateful to the universe that I am chronically early to everything. He told her staying with a cheating husband as her mom does is nothing to be proud about. He said she pretended to be nice just so he would marry her. Unloaded all the minor things that he was willing to overlook because he truly did love her, or at least who he thought she was. He said he would never forgive her for the hurt she caused his siblings. But he doesn't hate her because that would require him to spend energy thinking about her, and she doesn't get that. At the end he said she had enough time to clear things, and since she has acted like a victim, he will be the one to let everybody know why he didn't show. It was brutal, but cathartic and necessary for Sam. Her parents said nothing, but were very red. She was crying. Her sisters attempted to defend her and their parents' relationship, and were kind of expecting my whole family to argue too, but we didn't. Then Sam told his ex-Phil he could sue if he wanted, but if he did, Sam would expose all his family's dirty laundry to the world, and he doubts he wants that. Amazingly, the dad still argued Sam could try and make amends and marry his ex because they are not getting any younger, and all families fight. I've never rolled my eyes harder. The rest of the meeting went about logistics for the return of the wedding gifts already received, stopping the harassment from their family, the cancellation and refund of the honeymoon, and the changing of the locks. X just kept crying and trying to talk to Sam, but he was in business mode and didn't want anything from her. He only replied to her directly when she said she was keeping her engagement ring because nobody asked for it. They left without issues. When the booze was delivered, Mom and husband sneaked through the gate when we opened it. She said she just wanted to talk to her babies, and my dad asked her to leave. She kept screaming. He raised us wrong, and we just embarrassed her with our behavior. She couldn't believe we were such bad people, and we should start making amends with her because we clearly lack maternal love. She got that right. And this was the pathetic result. At that point, Joe went out and told her to leave since the police were on their way. She took it as an opportunity to cry since it's the first time in about a decade he talked to her and tried to sweet-talk him into going to grab dinner with her and her husband. But Joe just told her to leave, and the only news he ever wanted to hear related to her were the ones about her funeral so he could go celebrate. Cue hysterical crying and screaming from the husband, demanding an apology and threatening to hit Joe. Dad and Joe went back inside and left them there until we saw they had left and closed the gate. It is hard for some people to understand why we react like we do, but the things I wrote about our mother are just like the tip of the iceberg. Dad wasn't exactly proud of what Joe said, but he understood he needed to let it out, and he was speaking for all of us. Maybe that makes us bad people, but we truly don't want to see this woman ever again. We are all going to have some family therapy besides our individual ones. Sam doesn't want the house anymore, but my dad says to take it slow, and the first step is to mend his heart. We have had horror movie marathons and some Disney classics sprinkled here and there. We also had a drama bingo thing going on of all the things that could possibly happen, because I guess we are truly dramatic after all. We love each other, and we're raised to treat people well, but we can be petty when pushed. I also feel better knowing she humiliated herself, and while I wouldn't wish to be left at the church by anybody, I would do it again because I love my brother more than I feel bad for her. We will be going on a family trip eventually, but right now we will continue our staycation. To the person who said Joe is a hero. His siblings couldn't ask for a better brother and friend. We read everything so far. Thank you for letting me vent about the awards and the PMs. I am sorry if my English was not up to standard. Joe and Sam's names are obviously fake, but Daniela, go F yourself. A little note. My brothers are reading your messages and comments. They want you to know we know how lucky we are. They appreciate the positivity, want you to know it gets better those in the same boat, and you are all welcome to our cult. Update 2. First, more clarifications. If you want a PM, that is fine. Even if it is to insult us, please know I will only answer in public. Joe wasn't parentified to the person who wrote me a mean essay about it. Here is the answer. My brothers spent time with me because they wanted to. We had special days together, or with each other. They did all the activities they wanted, had many friends, went on trips with me or alone, etc. There were nannies, family, and my dad. They were never forced to take me with them against their will. They had a lot of freedom within reason. My parents divorced when I was 3, and even if there was shared custody, we stayed 90% with Dad, and we never went visit our mother, unless we were at least in pairs. The only times Joe or Sam visited her after turning 18 was when I was requested to visit, because they didn't want me to go alone. We have all been in therapy for a very long time. We are just having special sessions because we saw our mother, but Joe is the only one that interacted with her. Also, please know we Sam, and I know how to defend ourselves and didn't ask Joe to confront her. He did it by himself. Why didn't my dad go to church with Joe? Because he was asked by Sam to go home. We didn't think he needed to see that woman, even if he had to talk to her after. Sam has cried. He is not a monster. He is heartbroken. He thought he would spend the rest of his life with Daniela, thought he was a good judge of character, and thought he didn't have to see our mother ever again. There are many emotions going on, but because of our upbringing, we are very good at keeping our emotions in check in front of people we don't trust or like. It was a survival skill we developed to deal with how we were treated. Joe had a relationship with Grandma, but stopped talking to her after she invited Mother as her +1. There was no religious ceremony, the venue had security, and there was a no entry list. He sent Grandma a letter and didn't talk to her again. We also didn't attend her funeral. The wedding had about 250 guests. When making the wedding list and seating charts, she used other names, which is why we didn't know about it. Daniela is not a Brazilian. My dad requested that I inform you all that his kids are not alcoholics. He is worried people think that even if this is anonymous. Lol. Anyway, This week has been really chaotic. Those who said to be prepared for the pregnancy tactic were incredibly accurate. She posted it online, and people were freaking out again and calling Sam, asking him if it was true. Sam called her and asked that she delete it. She continued claiming she was pregnant, and he asked her to delete it and to come talk about it. She deleted it, met up with Sam, and somehow this crazy woman thought he wanted her back. I went with Sam, and she was very happy until she saw me enter the place. She started crying, holding her stomach, and when Sam asked her if she really was pregnant, she said yes, and told him she didn't want her child to come from a broken family. Sam told her they were going to the doctor immediately to know for sure, and she cried even more, screaming that he didn't trust her. Long story short, she isn't pregnant. But she posted that Sam was forcing her to have an abortion, and she was devastated. As you may imagine, this was a horrible thing to say. People were calling Sam because they were so whiplashed from the drama, they didn't know what to believe anymore. When my sister, Anna, found out about the posts and the meeting, she called Daniela. I am unsure what was said in that conversation, but I also never saw Anna this angry. The posts are down, but Anna wrote an email with all relevant information, including that Daniela was never pregnant, and sent it to everybody on the wedding list. This morning, we heard Daniela had a breakdown after leaving voicemails, telling Sam that if she couldn't be with him, she wanted to die. This is another tactic straight out of our mother's playbook, and Sam simply called the police and told them what happened. Her family forced her into therapy, and she is in observation right now. It brings us no pleasure that it came to this, but we don't want to get involved anymore. We are also changing our numbers. We have already requested it. Our mother emailed Anna, threatening to sue her for defamation regarding the email blast. But we are not worried about it either. Anna's parents are amazing, and they have made it perfectly clear that they are on our side and 100% agree with the way she handled things. Joe was enraged, but Anna convinced him to let it go and simply move on. Mother's husband has been a peach as usual. Dad is considering a restraining order, but they are not great in our country. We did have a get-together at home yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. There was karaoke, dancing, nice food and drinks, games, and a bounce house, because why not? We love them. Most people avoided the topic of the wedding and the posts, but those who brought them up did so tactfully. Dad had already given away a lot of the alcohol to his employees. They got to choose what they wanted and got a bottle each. He is also adding bottles to his Christmas baskets this year. We are going to spend the holidays together and travel. I told Sam about the new paint for the house, but he just doesn't want to live there. He will rent it. I made a joke about me simply eloping or not having a proper wedding to avoid drama, and Joe told me in no uncertain terms that I get the biggest party ever if I choose to. So yeah, he is still the best. Thank you for your nice comments and messages, not thanking the mean ones, the awards, and the interest. Sorry to the nice Danielas out there. The FU wasn't for you. Update 3. Thank you for all your interest. You are very nice, and it is always a blast logging in and updating you on our cult. First, some points. Hi, best sub and YouTube. You're part of the family now. I do read every single comment, message, etc. Some commented I particularly lacked a feminine figure in my life, but I had my grandma, aunts, etc. My dad's girlfriend, Rita, is not a mother figure, and I don't feel like I am a bad woman because of it. When I had my period and told my dad he had a whole thing prepared, he informed my brothers, and each had a whole thing prepared themselves. They each had their own approach, and the others didn't know about it. Long story short, I had 3 men taking care of it, and even doing a presentation about it. It might sound super awkward for me, but it was even more awkward for them. It is a hilarious story, and reminds me of how much they think about me all the time. Rita is amazing, and we love her, but she has no problem not being married to my dad. My dad doesn't want to get married again. If he did, we would support him. Daniela is okay. Her sisters tried to make a huge drama and accuse us of being horrible, but after the email sent by Anna, nobody is buying it. One of them was also dumped by her boyfriend because he didn't want to be related to a toxic family. I will not disclose where we live or what our dad does for a living, so please don't ask about it again. We have new numbers, new SM handles, and are planning to move Joe plus I. Also, I do have a little note with a fake real name relation and do type my posts in Word. It's mainly so I don't mess up my ramblings. My dad wants you all to know that your applications to the cult have been accepted. Anyway, I checked the last update, and I can't believe it was only in early November. I have mainly good updates for you. Sam is doing well. He is taking time off work. His boss is very understanding about him needing time and told him he can always come back there. He is still living with dad and has savings, so he is not worried about that aspect. He is running now and has decided to run a marathon next year. He is more and more his goofy self and is doing renovations at home. Or in other words, Dad and Sam are trying to paint some rooms and do murals. It is hilarious, and they have a lot of fun. Daniela wrote him a letter, but he sent it back. The house was put on the market as a rental, and he is okay with it. I am engaged. It turns out it has been months in the making, and when I made the joke about eloping, my future husband, Matt, panicked. I discovered the plan. He spoke with Sam, who already knew of the plans because he didn't want to make him uncomfortable. But Sam said it would actually make him uncomfortable if he didn't. He also spoke with Joe and my dad. My dad made him sweat when he asked for my hand, saying it was not his to give, but they say it was all in good fun. It happened earlier this month. I am very excited, but not as much as my dad. He says he wants to walk me down, even if it is a civil wedding. While my news is amazing, I believe the other big news around is better. Joe and Anna have been on the adoption list for a while, and as of a couple weeks ago, hey Miss Baby. She is the most beautiful and sweetest baby ever. The adoption is final, as it usually is in our country for newborn or almost newborn babies. We knew they wanted to adopt for a while, so when they told us about the baby being officially theirs, it was a lot of crying, but happy crying. Dad is in full grandpa mode, and even as bad as some things got this year, this is the best thing that happened to our family in years. Mom did learn about the baby and demanded an introduction. She has been served our version of an order of protection, and she is never putting her eyes on her if we can help it. Those are the bad news. Due to the new COVID, we decided to stay home. Now, with the new addition, we wouldn't travel, of course. We had a Christmas welcome baby shower engagement small gathering last weekend, which Joe and my niece didn't attend since she is too young, but they were there via Zoom. We all agreed to give Sam some goofy gifts, such as t-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, etc., of Julia Roberts, since you know he is the runaway bride of the family. The reason Joe and I are considering moving is that we live in flats at the moment, and we want to live in houses. We are still shaken up, and we know we have work to do, but we know we have so much, and we want to focus on that because the negative is in the minority. And no matter what happens, I am always grateful for my family. I believe this will be the last update, folks. I know the last ones have been mainly drama-free and might not be as exciting, but we aim for that. I am not planning on deleting anything. The account will be here in case something worth updating happens. I wish you all the best at the end of the year and an amazing 2022. Update 4. Hi cult. I guess we should catch whoever still wants to know what is going on with the cult, not to lose the rhythm. First, some points. Due to popular demand. Yes, our native language is Spanish. Adoptions are final in our country, done by the government, and we rarely get situations like open adoptions. Joe and Anna had been waiting for a bit since they decided that was how they wanted to have kids together. I said hey miss, as in we have, like when they announced the Pope. Lol. We are now 35, 33, and 29. HB was supposed to mean husband, but I love the huge bastard interpretation. It works both ways, honestly. Joe and I moved as we planned last year. The year has been pretty good, with just minor drama around. Daniela can still go F herself though. Anyway, let's do the bad news first. Daniela came back with a swing we were not expecting. She is pregnant and claims to whomever would listen, Sam is the dad. Sadly for her, it is literally impossible for him to be the father since he was not even in the country when the baby would have been conceived. But she had no way of knowing that. Sam has offered repeatedly to have a paternity test done, but she refuses. Sam is safe legally. He just feels bad for her baby. Daniela's dad did sue Sam for the emotional distress of 2 of his daughters, Daniela and the one the boyfriend left. But nothing happened since Joe dealt with it. Surprise. Joe is a lawyer. It is relevant information for this catch-up, I promise. Sam decided not to do anything against him since he has too much on his plate and feels pity for the family. Mother still insisted on meeting baby, but that will never happen. She undusted one of her favorite tactics. She has cancer. She contacted Joe and Anna through their work emails and begged them to help out with meeting baby since she is so sick. Most likely would need a transplant of something, etc. You'll see, this is like the 5th time she has cancer. But in reality, she has had cancer a total of 0 times. She loves the attention, the suffering, the drama, and all that good stuff bad people like to bring out of others. We never believed her, of course, but what we didn't expect was that she would make a fool of herself when she contacted Anna's mom on Facebook. Anna's mom is a lovely, good Catholic lady, so mother must have assumed she would be easy to manipulate. She told her about her cancer and how heartbroken she was to not meet baby. Anna's mom proceeded to ask a couple questions about the diagnosis and treatment, which made no sense as expected. Then she blocked her and posted screenshots of her wall. It is like high school drama, only with older folks, and it has hilarious comebacks. Baby is otherwise very happy and healthy, and the only controversy regarding her was the question of what Rita would be called. Not by Rita, but by our mother, who claimed Rita had no right to be called grandma. Joe and Anna talked with Rita, and they all agreed that, for all intents and purposes, she is Grandma Rita, and Mother can do nothing about it. Sam is doing well. He quit his job and started something on his own. He's still living at the family home, renting the other house, and kind of seeing someone. She is nice, knows about all the stuff, makes amazing cakes, knows how to knit. We like her, so we are both positive and cautious. They are taking it seriously, but it is nice to see him with someone like this. He also kept on painting rooms with Dad, and the results are, please remember, I love these two, embarrassingly funny, ridiculous, and like something you do in kindergarten. Dad got COVID for the first time, and he got so scared that he decided to update his will. That's why Joe's profession is important. They wanted Sam and I to know about it when they finished it up. Everything he owns is divided into 4 parts: his kids and any grandchildren. However, the family house is not to be divided, and is going to be put in my name soonish. I was a bit confused, but Joe and Dad discussed it, and wanted me to have it if and only if Sam agreed. He did, and is very happy about it. They didn't really offer many explanations other than that it was the right thing to do. I sense a little because I am the baby there, but that is okay. Joe bought a house in the same neighborhood as our family home, so even if they are not in the same block or anything, they are close by. Matt and I are not buying anything anymore since I will be getting the house, which would make no sense. We moved to the family home, and it has been interesting but nice. Dad has started semi-retirement and spending more days at Rita's, so it works for everybody. Sam will, of course, get to stay there as long as he wants, but his murals will have to go. Lol. We are still engaged, still happy, still enjoying babysitting, and still not pregnant. But we got a cat during the spring. We are planning a December wedding and couldn't ask for a better end of the year. So that's it, no drama, or at least not huge drama. We are moving forward and healing continuously, which is the way we like it. Anyway, greetings from the cult, and we wish you all a good last few months of 2022. Update 5. Hello Reddit. First, as it's tradition, we now have 2 cats. Sam moved in with his girlfriend, and we just love that he's happy again. Dad is semi-moving in with Rita. It has been bittersweet, but overall, we remain positive and supportive of each other. Let's do the bad news first. It turns out that there was indeed cancer on our mother's side, just not hers. One of her stepchildren actually had it and passed away at the beginning of the year. She is milking it for all it's worth, and we are disgusted by her as usual. While we can empathize with the loss, we are not changing our stance on being NC with her and her whole family. Daniela had her baby, a very cute boy, but is not Sam's, not that we ever doubted that. She did try to make him recognize him and sign stuff, but he refused, and after the test, there was nothing she could do. She did lose her SHT when she heard Sam was seriously dating, and even worse when he moved in with his girlfriend. She still believes he is the one for her and is fixated on it. She tried to cyberbully the girl, but this woman is made of something else. Oh, and yes, the father of her child is a married co-worker in his 50s, which is another SHT show from what we've heard, but not ours. Sam moved in with his girlfriend. He's still in therapy as we all are, but doing much better. His girlfriend is a very well-liked and beloved member of the family. She understands everything that has happened and integrates it perfectly. He is also doing great in other areas, and he did run his first marathon. Not the best timing, but hey, he did it. Joe, Anna, and baby are very happy. They are still on the list as interested in adopting since they would like to have at least another one. I also wanted to explain something again. In my country, adoptions are not done by agencies. You get on a list after some tests and interviews to see if you are a good candidate. And when it happens that you match, you get the baby. That baby is yours, and that's it. I know I am still a bit vague, but please remember we are not from the US and things are different in each country. Apart from that, baby is just the best baby ever. Yes, I might be biased, but she still gets told a lot because we all agree that she should not be spoiled, or well, too spoiled. She has a room at our house, Rita's, and a playing pen at Sam's because they are looking for a permanent house, and they have a home office. Dad is basically living with Rita. She is pretty happy about it, and they took a couple trips recently. They love being grandparents and are very hands-on. They now claim 3 grandbabies since the cats sometimes go there too. It is hilarious because my dad was not so warm to the idea of cats at first, but now he even takes photos of all his babies, and he prints the best ones because that's what he's used to. He also shares progress updates with his friends, and sometimes they are confused if he's talking about the cats or baby since he gets so excited about anything they do. And he buys them all too many toys in my opinion. But apparently that's what a grandpa does. Lol. We did get married in December. My dad walked me down, even if we did non-traditional stuff for my country. Joe was Matt's best man. Sam was my best maid. He insisted on being called Julio the whole planning process when it was about the wedding. Mother did try to come and tried to convince Anna's mom about it, but she would not tell her anything. Some of my mother's relatives said it was undignifying, unsure if it's the right word to have Rita there instead of my own mother. But well, I think it is disgusting to condone her actions, so to each their own. We had a blast, and it was not stressful at all. Nobody ran away, nobody cried of sadness, and nobody tried to make a scene. We are remodeling a part of the house to make it more ours and not be in my childhood bedroom anymore. But so far, everything is going very well for the cult. Sam got slightly fewer Julia Roberts gifts, but he wears his t-shirts with pride all year round. On a last bit, Sam's girlfriend has approached us with the idea of proposing to Sam when the time is right, so who knows? Maybe this time he actually makes it to the altar. Update 6. Hi cult. To all you 10 or so people interested, I come bringing you a bit of everything we went through. As usual, some points. We got a dog, and my dad is a great grandpa now. My dad is one of 6. I didn't mention it before, because it was not relevant. It is for this one. The proposal was not ruined. It has been a roller coaster, but the cult is going strong. I think this one needs a TW. Self-harm. Well, let's get to it, shall we? I will start with the sad and down things, because they actually have to do with everything that has happened. One of my uncles got a stroke, and it was what started it all. For my grandma, it was such a shock that the youngest of her kids was the one who had it. He was recovering slowly, but depression and frustration were too much for him, and he took his life. It was one of the worst deaths we have had in the family, since he was so healthy just months before it happened, and we all thought he would get better. My dad broke down, and it was just too hard for all of us to see him like this, and my grandma's health took a turn. She is old, but was otherwise very healthy before this. We were very scared for Dad, but he got better with the months, and by the end of summer, he was more himself. Grandma passed away in late November from natural causes, but we are all believers. It was a broken heart since she would repeat over and over that parents are not supposed to bury their own children. The holidays were as bittersweet as you may imagine, but we pulled through as usual. Sorry for the sad portion, but it is needed for the rest of the catch-up. Our mother, being her usual monster self, tried to come to both funerals and talk to us, but it did not work so well for her. At my grandma's funeral, everybody was off guard, and we didn't notice her inside the church. She came up to me and grabbed my arm, saying we needed to talk. She said she didn't want to wait until one of us is dead for the family to reunite again. And as the women of the family, it was our duty to solve it all since, after all, her family disintegrated because of me. I just told her to let me go. And when she didn't and kept talking stupid stuff about how much of a horrible human I am, and how I am going to go to hell if I don't fix things before it's too late, I told her that if we end up in the same level of hell, I will apologize. Otherwise, I hope she dies soon. She kept screaming and crying and making a scene, but got kicked out. Am I proud of my words? Yes, maybe I will end up in hell with her, but I don't care. The dog we got was my uncle's. My aunt asked if we could take it in for a bit while he had rehab. But after his passing, she requested we keep it because it was his special buddy, and she could not bear to see it anymore. The dog is very friendly, and the kittens got used eventually. After many fights and cries, they are finally behaving and sometimes taking naps together. Joe, Anna, and Baby are doing great. They are considering getting pregnant since they don't want Baby to have a big age gap with her future sibling, and the adoption process is uncertain. They know we will support whatever they decide, and so far, we all babysit and meet up constantly as usual. Joe has also decided to start running with Sam, so now they are running buddies, and since they are very competitive, it is hilarious to see. They actually happened to be with Grandma when she passed, which was peaceful, and while she was sleeping, she was so happy to spend time with Baby, since she was her only great-grandchild so far. Baby also got the last handmade things made by her, so it is very special. Now, in my last catch-up, I mentioned Sam might get proposed to, but I promise I did not spoil it. He said yes, and he's actually married. It seems very fast, and he planned on a long engagement. but Grandma asked if he would consider doing it sooner rather than later, and he couldn't say no to her. His wedding was actually the last large family event she attended. Despite everything, it was a very happy wedding, and he made it to the altar. Not that we doubted it, but it is still a bit funny to us. Dad was his goofy self and decided to take family pictures at the family home, only of us, of course. He now has one of his kids, his grandchildren, and great-grandchildren since one of the cats had babies. Sam is extremely happy, and his wife was amazing during the planning, such a different experience from last time. Matt and I are doing pretty well, all things considered. We have decided to start a family soon, apart from our feline and canine children. We try to host family gatherings as much as possible because of the space, and so far we are doing very well at being hosts. Although we messed up Christmas dinner since someone coughed, me forgot to buy some crucial ingredients and got frustrated. But thankfully Rita and Matt went on a hunt for them and saved the day. Since then, I have been on booze duty for a while, which, to be honest, I can't complain about. We are still trying our best. And yes, there have been bouncing castles when a couple meets seriously. More adults need to try it. Fingers crossed for 2024 being better than 2023 for all of us. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.